have to embrace all the things that make you different and unique. And with boundaries, I would say stop looking for validation from other people. Because clearly here you're letting in some people that don't have your best interest in mind. You may be dealing with some very selfish people here, but you may be selling yourself short by trying to fit in with them. Because boundaries is saying that you need to set some strong boundaries with someone or a group of people right now. You can't just let anybody into your space. And stop looking for validation from other people because you may be dealing with. Alright, Leo, here's your overall. Oh boy, the Two of Cups. Alright, so we could be talking about a relationship here. It could be any relationship, it doesn't have to be romantic. But you're talking about a relationship here with a person where you are seeing and feeling things the same way. Understanding another person, them understanding you. Now, in the past, the Seven of Pentacles. I've been noticing this a lot with all of the decks that I've been picking up, and I don't know if it's just because that's the way that I see the Seven of Pentacles that I seem to attract these decks, but there is always this feeling of disappointment when you see the initial results of something that you've been working on. And it may be that you're looking at a situation from the past and going, maybe there was a different way to do this. Maybe there is more to be gained. But there is at least going to be some disappointment in what you have to show for something in the past. And very specifically here, having to do with a relationship between you and another person. So you may be reevaluating things here. Okay, in the present, the Queen of Cups. Now, the strong feeling that I'm getting from her, and again, whether you're male or female, this may be the way that you're feeling because of a person that you're dealing with who could be male or female, possibly water sign. You guys know how that goes. But the feeling that I'm getting off of her is like her heart is pulling her towards something. There are still emotions that are being felt, and there is a want to have it reciprocated, possibly with another person here, in a romantic way, but it doesn't have to be. But this may be somebody else, though, that is kind of reevaluating the way things went and maybe wanting to have a better connection with you, though, too. But we're talking about definitely some emotional investment. Oh, Leo. Future conditions, the Ace of Cups. A new beginning in a relationship, a better understanding of the emotions of another person, realizing that maybe things didn't exactly go in the best direction. Maybe there's more to see, more to be built. But we're definitely talking about a new beginning here. A new beginning in love, a new beginning in a relationship, a new beginning where there is emotional happiness and fulfillment. And possibly starting over with someone where we just didn't see the full potential in the past, right? Wow. Oh, shit. Your best path to follow, the Seven of Swords. Intentions need to be clear. You don't want to get involved in a situation where you have to hide anything. Now, it may be that you don't understand the emotions of another person here, and you don't want to act without knowing. So, now, on the other hand, though, the Seven of Swords, I don't like it. It bothers me because I don't like the idea of doing things on the down low, secretive and sketchy, right? Secretive plans, or somebody trying to get away with something. But this could also show, though, that this could have to do with a situation where, you need to take what you can and leave the rest. But I think it more has to do with, intentions and setting the right intentions. You may have feelings and there may be this opportunity, but maybe there is a reason why the potential wasn't realized. And maybe the timing wasn't right, because you got these sevens going on. We don't want to have to do anything where we can't be out in the open about it. Wow, man. In your environment, the Page of Wands. So, yeah, there is a passion that's being brought back up, I think, for you or someone else here. And there is this communication that may be going on with someone in terms of how they're feeling or how they may still be attached. But we're talking about taking a new path here, very closely related to the Fool, but it's not that you're just leaping into something here. But the thing is this a road that you've been down before? It may look really great on the surface, but I worry about it a little bit, and I only say that because of the Seven of Swords. Otherwise, it would have been like, this is perfect, this is great, right? There's more to see. More work should have been put into this, which is possible. But you don't want to get involved with something where intentions are not clear. I think that that's what that Seven of Swords is saying. And this could also be, though, that you need to be open and honest with yourself about what you're actually feeling in regards to another person. But yeah, the Page of Wands, I would say, could be communication going back and forth between you and this person. And maybe these emotions are being stirred back up, and we may be looking at the potential for a new beginning. Yeah. Your hopes and your fears. The sun. Wanting to bring this situation back to life. Wanting to feel good about it. Wanting to see things clearly. Feeling rejuvenated. And having those emotions restored in a way where it makes you feel good. But are you seeing the situation clearly? The fear there would be that you're getting too caught up in the emotions and you're not actually seeing everything under the light of day, right? But in terms of a hope, yeah, this would be wanting to see something kind of like brought back to life, so to speak, And it's exciting, and it's an exciting feeling, but maybe there are some details here that aren't being looked at, And then coming out, you have the Four of Swords. So, I look at that and I think that maybe it's, instead of getting so wrapped up in this situation, maybe we just want to make peace with this. Maybe you want to have a new beginning in a very different way than what somebody else does. Because you're looking at, wanting to start again here with this Ace of Cups and have those emotions restored. And then you're looking at making peace with something, taking a break, no communication that's happening here, and it may be that you're choosing to just stay quiet, that or somebody else is not communicating toward you, which makes you, look at the situation a little bit differently. The Ten of Cups, and then you have the Eight of Wands. So yeah, maybe what we need to do here is just take a break on getting so caught up in the emotions of the situation and talk about some things, right? Now, I would caution, don't be too quick to make any assessments or, to jump to any kind of conclusions when it comes to this. Because, and again, I feel like this may be a warning for some of you that maybe the person that you're dealing with is not really clear on what they want or what they intend to have happen. But it's interesting to me because I look at this and think that this is something that at one point, I think that you've seen it as the Ten of Cups, like it could have brought you just everything you could have ever wanted. All that happiness, right? But yeah, with the Two of Pentacles, we're talking about trying to keep a relationship going here. But with the Four of Swords, maybe we just need to take a break from our emotions and make peace with, wherever there may have been like a separation where we didn't see the full potential, right? The full potential being the Ten of Cups here. But the thing is are you, getting ahead of yourself? And I look at that and think if you're wanting long-lasting happiness, you have to make sure that that's being communicated here before things get out of hand. Because the Eight of Wands can show that things are, all up in the air. And with the Four of Swords, right, there's no real, communication going on. Somebody may be withholding. And before things can go in the right direction, somebody needs to kind of come out of silence and say something. And that may be where we're starting here, is getting out of this and starting to communicate. But that's on both sides. Do you understand each other? And that's kind of what I go back to with the Two of Cups here. But there's all of this excitement and this passion and this new energy being brought into this, and you hoping that, it's going to be good, right? And it's not saying that anything is bad here, but something is not being made clear. But this is definitely something that either you or the other person here has continuously, kept going in their life. There could have been more. There could have been more. But then I go back to boundaries and think that, yeah, maybe that's the right thing for you to do, is kind of set some boundaries with this person before you get too caught up in the feelings that you're having, right? Especially if somebody else is being like emotionally clingy. I don't see her as being a bad thing. Again, whether she's male or female, or if this is about you, it's not bad. It's just we're really caught up and invested in all of these emotions, and everything, looks so great, but there are things that are not clear. And that may be where you kind of like take a step back and go, okay, let's, I don't want to fight. I don't want to cause any problems here. I want to see this overall happiness, but, maybe we need to communicate a little bit better before we start, acting on this. Because this could be, somebody that's being a little bit too quick, and you're like, wait a minute, So yeah, it's going to be important for you to open up that fifth chakra and start communicating before, we start to see any new growth. And as soon as new growth starts here, we're going to have to do some more communicating. So I would say to you that action is not the right thing. I think it's okay to get caught up in the emotions, but I think it's more important to understand what is being kept hidden. And it's more important to make sure that you understand the other person, they understand you, in terms of what you actually want to see with this new start. And the Ace of Cups is beautiful, right? But you don't want the situation to like drain out, But yeah, no action here. Let's just communicate and talk about the new growth before we actually do anything. And then infinite abundance. Abundance is pouring into your life. Perfect. Solitude is going to be important before you see abundance in all areas in your life. Especially if, you're allowing people in your space that don't have the best intentions, and again, setting some boundaries here. But I do like that infinite abundance is going to be coming into your life, even though it may feel like, you're alone, right? But maybe you need some peace and quiet with that Four of Swords. Maybe we need to cut off communication for a little bit if things get a little bit too heavy, But again, intention.